got word that Roger Goodell and the NFL, they need us to step in and find a resolution between the players and the league. So I'm glad you guys are here, but I see Christian's not here yet, so I don't know what that's about.
I don't know where he is.
I know as well.
Good.
Saw dudes.
Nice of you to show up.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. So the new NFL conduct policy that Roger Goodell implemented basically refrains anyone from committing crimes and breaking the league policies, and they must represent the NFL in a respective manner. So basically, Roger Goodell wants to monitor the off-field behaviors of all players in the league, and he can also determine the severity of the punishment. So what do you guys think about this policy?
I agree, 100%.
All right, what about you, Quinn?
Well, I disagree. I think that the NFL and the commissioner should decide on a committee. Roger Goodell could obviously still be in charge of the whole operation, but he needs to sit down with at least another 5 different people and come up with an issue or a way of solving the issues with people, so it's not as much of a dictatorship, I guess you could say.
All right, I agree with that. All right, Annie, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I do not agree with this policy whatsoever. Like Quinn said, I think that we should have a committee that Roger can head, but like he said, not a dictatorship. I don't think that's fair to the player or the team.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't think you'll be very happy with what we're going to do, but I think it's for the best.
It's fine.
So one rising issue is the talk about how players might be innocent, but they're still not going to be able to play. What do you guys think about that?
I think it should be the severity of the crime determines if they should still play, while the law is still determining if what they did as well.
Okay.
I like that too. It just would look bad. It puts the league in a tough spot because if they are proven guilty and they were playing the whole time, that would make them look really bad. But it also could be bad if they make a player sit out and then they were proven not guilty in court, and then that could really hurt a player's career.
Exactly.
Depending how long they were suspended for.
I think I think it really depends on like what they did. Like if they murdered someone and they're proven guilty, then that will definitely look bad. But if they were like suspected of like smoking weed or doping, then and they get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Doping and murder are 2 different things, Annie.
Yep.
So.
Definitely. Severity would speak for itself. Like, not to say that an athlete caught using steroids or something like that
Yeah,
isn't
it's just
But
not
like, how is
huge,
it?
but
How is it now? Like when, what if like a new, like someone just got drafted and then some girl said she was
Well,
raped by them
think
like
about
2
it.
years ago.
When
When they got drafted.
I know. What are you supposed to do? So
Like,
basically,
Remember
by
the
the
draft
rule,
like 2 years ago? Then the guy who went he dropped all the way one of the last picks in the first round. It was like a video.
Yeah.
Of him smoking out of a
Yeah.
bong, and
Mhm.
an hour before the draft,
Yeah.
someone linked that to Twitter.
and then same with AB, he got accused.
Yeah.
Like right when he got onto the Patriots, accused
Yeah.
of rape.
Yeah,
Like,
right away.
multiple girls came out. So like, damn, I just looked at the camera and I was like,
I did too. It's fine. She'll cut it out.
yeah. So like, is that fair to make AB stop playing and like the Patriots dropped him from the team and he's not even in the league anymore, even though he's not found guilty, but there's just accusations around him saying that these girls came out publicly saying that
Yeah.
he did something to
Yeah,
them.
like my question is like, where do you draw the line
Yeah.
on like severity for them to be able to play or not be able to play? Is it just like when it involves like death?
Death. I
Sure.
guess you could say rape would be a serious case. Domestic violence, drugs,
violence.
and on and off the field fighting. Depending on off the field fighting, like what
Like
level
the injury
it
could
is.
be like the injury that happened during the fight.
And then
Yeah.
we should leave that decision up to the committee itself.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so.
I think rape cases though, like if you were talking about like how girls from 2 years ago were coming out saying stuff, like you can't penalize someone for that. Like yeah, they were
Yeah.
accused, but you can't tell them or suspend them until like that's proven, because like they could just be saying that for attention.
Yes.
A challenge that we could face with implementing this policy would be the backlash from the NFLPA, Players Association. They could kind of did what they did a couple years ago, to have a lockout, a player lockout, if they don't agree with what the commissioner's saying. And that could be really bad for the league, obviously, because, I mean, without the players, there's no league, so.
Right. I feel like people have more of an issue with the fact that the commissioner is the only one that has a say. Like, there should be more people involved with
Mhm.
making the
Yeah,
decision
I
and the
think the
punishment.
committee will be better for them, and I also think that, the players should meet with the committee.
Maybe have their agent be present
Yeah,
too.
Agents could be present.
So there's more than just one
So,
say.
Yeah, so-
before they drop suspensions,
Mm.
they get to meet with the committee and talk to them and like give them their side of what happened.
Okay.
Mhm.
And before they give suspensions.
What about the people that were on the other side of the actions? Should they interview them as well, or have them
Mhm.
present at some point?
Probably with their lawyer, have a lawyer present just in case. But like, it's more like a he said, she said story.
Yeah.
So like, they need more evidence.
I feel like
until
that
they
should
get
be
to a
resolved
decision.
like
In the
on,
court?
like in court, but I feel like with just dealing with suspensions and more like on the field
Mhm.
issues and
During
stuff
play.
like
Okay.
during play, yeah.
Alright, so those could be two separate things.
Like with the whole Miles Garrett thing,
Mhm.
he should meet with
A committee.
He should meet with the committee
Along
with his
this,
lawyer
yeah.
and get to sit down and give his side of what happened before they drop suspensions and just suspend him
Cool.
right now up and the end the rest of the season.
Okay.
Cool, we got that figured out. So now, what's the next question? If you were a general manager of a team, how would you try to stop the suspensions, and if your player got in trouble, what would you do to prevent your team from getting in trouble with the new policy?
I think it's kind of hard to determine that because like you can't really control grown adults. They're just gonna do what they wanna do. I mean, why do people in the NFL or any other sports team get themselves into trouble anyways? Like, it should just be an unspoken rule, like, don't do stupid stuff.
Okay. So I think, so the team, so let's say you hear Antonio Brown, there's people that are accusing him of violence or rape or anything like that. I would say if I was a general manager, I would go out before the league, before Goodell issues a suspension. If I was the general manager, I would suspend Antonio Brown from this facility from playing before Goodell did it. So then the solution is kind of already resolved and it's in-house. So it's not getting all blown up out of proportion, and Goodell has time to think about it. Like, you already do something right away, so it's kind of already taken care of. So over the past couple years, throughout the league, I didn't say that right. Over the past couple years, the league has had some situations involving players violating the league's rules. Do you guys have any standouts that you want to talk about?
Josh Gordon would be one of them.
Yeah.
The drugs.
All right, yeah, so over his career, he's been violating the drug policy year after year, and it started out as a small suspension, and then back a couple years ago when he was playing for the Browns, it was a indefinite suspension, and the Browns ended up dropping him. So I think the league handled it right because they gave him a couple of chances to get his act together, but then at the end of the day, he kept doing it. So the Browns cut him, and he got a full year suspension.
I think the league acted well on that one as well.
Yeah.
One other thing was the incident with
Johnny Manziel.
Tyreek Hill
Yeah.
with the domestic violence or
Yeah, so he was allegedly abusing his kid.
yes, abusing his kid and ended up getting not suspended.
Not suspended at all, yeah.
Not suspended at all.
I don't think that was going very well.
Yes. So it didn't go to court.
Right.
Because like, I don't know, there wasn't really enough proof, so the league, since it wasn't handled legally, it didn't have any court, anything like that, the league decided to let him off free, and not give him any penalty.
That goes back to the innocent until proven guilty thing, so
Right.
it's kind of putting them in a tough spot once again, so
Yeah.
I think they may have made the right decision there because they didn't have enough proof.
Mhm.
Remy Tunzel video before the draft like 2 years ago. It was linked to him smoking marijuana with his buddy. He was a shoe in like draft pick number 1, and he dropped I think like 10 or 12 spots. So I think he was suspended for like half the year. I'm pretty sure. Had like no paid or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's another one.
That's a good one. Alright. Alright, so how do you guys feel about players' off-field and on-field behavior? Will it affect how fans follow the game still, or what do you guys think?
I don't think it really will have an effect, because if it did, then I feel like football being on TV wouldn't really be a thing anymore, but it still is, and it's still like a huge thing for people to go to games, go to tailgates, view it on TV, like have watch parties at home. So if it really did influence fans and spectators, then it wouldn't be a thing, so I think it's fine. Doesn't really matter, I mean, it does matter, but not to the fans.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they're not gonna like drop any views from like suspending players, because football's a big a lot of players. So I don't think like it's not like basketball where one player can affect the game. So like viewers are like it's gonna like drop viewers from like their best player being dropped or suspended for a little bit. And yeah, so I don't think they should not worry about like what fans have to say about suspensions.
Yeah, like I don't like if someone commits a crime in the league and they get kicked off the team or whatever. I don't think the fans will start like not watching the games that the player was on, but they're just not gonna like support the player anymore.
Yeah.
Just like Quinn said, the whole basketball thing. Just one player can't dictate the whole entire team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just that one player should be dealt with like a manner, and just the whole team shouldn't focus on just that one guy.
Yeah, the whole team's not gonna get punished.
Yeah,
just
the
'cause
whole
one.
team punished.
Cool. Alright, that's good. Alright guys, so the last question. Do you guys think any players in the league, do you think the league didn't handle their situation right, and like wasn't treated fair?
So we can try to like fix that issue. But yeah, the one comes to mind is the Tom Brady Deflategate issue, and how he was suspended initially for 8 games, just half regular season, and obviously he wasn't the only one that knowingly knew the balls were deflated.
Mm-hmm.
So I think other people could have been suspended as well, like the head coach Bill Belichick, or anybody else that the league maybe have thought was in on it as well.
Yeah, or maybe
just
not
one
like
player.
maybe not like a suspension, but like if you're gonna penalize the whole team,
Yeah.
like do something. That's maybe not suspend the whole team because that would be stupid, but like
Exactly.
give a punishment to the whole team because
Yeah.
like it seems like the whole team did it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then like also Brady, how he got 4 games, well 8 games first, then 4 games suspension. I'm not sure if that's really fair because just recently Myles Garrett, I'm pretty sure everyone saw how he took his Mason Rudolph's helmet off and tried to hit him with it, and like it hit the crown of his head, and I mean he could have got seriously hurt, and I think he's at like 2 games now, 2 game suspension.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, possibly, but I don't really think that's fair. I don't know if the NFL handled that right because like something that Brady did, deflate balls.
There's violence on
Ver-
national
yeah.
television.
Yeah, that looks really bad for the league. Like, I think violence looks a lot worse than
Deflating football.
Yeah.
Because what if he got seriously hurt?
exactly. What if he died on the field?
Yeah,
you know?
like, never would have known.
Yeah.
They should try to handle that both equally, or at least like try to bring back the Brady case and how they can compare it to the Garrett case, because they're two totally different things.
And
One's
then
violence, one's not.
yeah, so I think a committee could have handled that better instead of just Roger Goodell's his choice. If we had a committee of professionals that overlooked this, we could have avoided like the unfairness.
Yeah, exactly.
We have the head of the consultant team with us, Ryan Fisher. We would like to ask you a couple questions, if that's okay. Ryan, has your team came up with any new conduct policies for the NFL?
Yeah, my team and I have talked it over, and we decided that we're implementing a 3-game strike rule for all violations involving drugs or fighting, whether that's on or off the field. So the first offense is a 1 to 2 game suspension, and then the second offense, if that ever occurred, would be a 2 to 6 game suspension, and then the third offense is an indefinite suspension with a potential ban for the rest of the time. Yes, that's good.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we don't. So for all other violations, there would be a committee full of legal experts to come up with a final decision for that player's consequence.
Thanks, Ryan.
No problem.